Seniors, stop eating. 7 worst fruits. They are destroying your leg strength. Nutrition for seniors. Have you ever stood up from your favorite chair and felt your legs wobble just a little more than they used to? Have you noticed a heaviness in your calves after a short walk around the block, or a strange stiffness in your knees when getting out of bed? Many older adults chalk it up to aging. But what if I told you something else might be quietly draining your leg strength every day? And it's not your medications. It's not a lack of exercise. It's not even about doing anything wrong. It might be the fruit bowl sitting right on your kitchen counter. Yes, fruits. The very things we've been told all our lives are healthy, natural, and essential. And while many fruits are packed with nutrients, not all of them are a good match for the aging body. In fact, some can sabotage your circulation, trigger inflammation, and quietly weaken your legs over time. Today, we're exposing 7 common fruits that may be doing more harm than good, especially if you're over 60 and care about staying active, steady, and strong. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know which fruits to avoid, you'll also learn what to eat instead to feel more energized, walk with confidence, and enjoy the freedom of healthy movement. If this kind of truth-telling content matters to you, hit that subscribe button, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Let's grow stronger together. 1. Pineapple, the hidden circulation blocker. Pineapple. Just the sound of it brings to mind something sweet, refreshing, and good for you. For years, it's been marketed as a tropical superfruit, something to add brightness to your breakfast or a splash of flavour to your afternoon snack. But for many older adults, especially those over 60, that bright burst of sweetness may come with an invisible cost. The cost? Your leg strength. Take the story of Walter, a 72-year-old retired construction worker from Kansas. Walter always considered himself fairly active. He did his stretches every morning, stayed hydrated, and tried to eat what he thought was a balanced diet. One of his favourite habits was adding chunks of fresh pineapple to his yogurt each day. It made him feel like he was doing something right, something healthy. But despite all his efforts, Walter started to notice something strange. His legs felt heavier, short walks left him winded, and at night his calves ached as though he'd run a marathon. What was going on? The truth is that pineapple, although rich in vitamin C and bromelain, carries a high amount of natural sugars and acidity. As we age, our blood vessels, especially the smaller capillaries that feed oxygen to our lower limbs, become more fragile and less elastic. The rapid sugar spike that comes from eating pineapple, especially in larger portions or juiced form, causes repeated surges in insulin. This not only triggers systemic inflammation, but also inflames those delicate capillaries in your legs. Over time, this micro-inflammation leads to reduced oxygen delivery and poorer circulation, resulting in that all-too-familiar leg fatigue, ankle swelling, and persistent stiffness that so many seniors simply write off as just aging. On top of that, the acidic nature of pineapple can worsen joint sensitivity, especially in people with osteoarthritis or inflammation-prone joints. While bromelain is often touted as an anti-inflammatory enzyme, it can interfere with common medications like blood thinners, making its effects unpredictable and even risky for those managing heart disease or circulatory conditions. What helped Walter? He didn't give up fruit. He simply swapped his pineapple for kiwi. With fewer sugars and a milder acid profile, kiwi gave him the same refreshing flavour without the inflammation and blood sugar crash. Within weeks, Walter noticed that his legs felt lighter, his morning stiffness lessened, and the soreness in his calves began to fade. So before you reach for that bowl of tropical sweetness, ask yourself, is it really giving you what you need at this stage of life? Or is it slowly draining the energy from your steps? If your legs have been feeling more tired than they should, maybe this is your moment to make one small change. Sometimes, the path to strength starts with what you leave off your plate. 2. Bananas, the fluid retention culprit. There's a fruit many Americans consider a daily staple, Smooth, sweet, and often seen as a symbol of healthy eating. The banana. For years, bananas have been celebrated for their high potassium content, which supports nerve function and muscle health. But as we age, what once served our bodies well may begin to work against us in subtle and unexpected ways. For seniors, especially those with heart conditions or early-stage kidney issues, bananas can quietly contribute to a problem that affects mobility and comfort, fluid retention. This isn't just about feeling a little bloated. It's about the uncomfortable swelling in your ankles by afternoon, the way your shoes start to feel tighter, that odd stiffness in your knees when you rise from a chair. These symptoms are not just signs of aging. They could be your body struggling to process excess potassium and sugars. Here's what's happening. The kidneys naturally become less efficient with age. When you eat foods high in potassium, like bananas, your kidneys have to work harder to maintain balance. If they can't filter out the excess, potassium builds up in the bloodstream. That build-up can lead to fluid retention in the lower limbs, placing added pressure on joints and reducing the ease of movement. What starts as a little swelling can grow into persistent discomfort that saps your energy and confidence when walking. There's another layer to this. Bananas are also rich in fast-digesting carbohydrates. While these sugars offer a quick burst of energy, they can cause blood sugar levels to spike. When this happens repeatedly, especially in older adults with slower metabolisms or insulin resistance, it can increase inflammation throughout the body, further aggravating joint pain and leg fatigue. Many seniors make the mistake of thinking more is better. One banana at breakfast, maybe another with lunch. But the truth is, your body's needs change with age. What once fueled you can now weigh you down. That doesn't mean you have to give up bananas entirely, but it does mean being smarter about how and when you enjoy them. If you still want that banana flavour, try pairing a few slices with high-fibre oatmeal or a handful of walnuts. This helps slow sugar absorption and provides steady energy without spiking blood sugar. If your legs have felt heavier lately, if walking feels more like a chore than it used to, it might be time to look at the healthy habits you've never questioned. Start paying attention. Your body always whispers before it screams. And the good news? Small changes lead to big improvements. Begin with one and take the next step toward a stronger, steadier you. 3. Grapes, the silent joint irritant. Meet Carol, a 73-year-old grandmother from Michigan who loved nothing more than snacking on grapes during her afternoon television shows. It felt like a harmless habit. After all, grapes are fruit, and fruit is supposed to be healthy, right? But over time, Carol began to notice something unsettling. Her knees started aching more often, especially when climbing stairs. At night, she'd wake up to a strange burning sensation in her toes. She assumed it was just arthritis getting worse, something she had to accept with age. But her doctor had a different perspective, one that surprised her. Grapes, while naturally sweet and packed with antioxidants, are also loaded with fructose. This type of sugar, when consumed in excess, gets processed by the liver and turns into uric acid. In younger, more resilient bodies, this may not cause immediate issues. But in older adults like Carol, whose metabolism and kidney function have slowed, the buildup of uric acid can become a serious concern. Uric acid tends to settle in the joints, particularly in the feet, knees, and ankles. Over time, it creates stiffness, inflammation, and sharp, almost electric pain that many seniors mistake for normal aging. What's worse is that grapes are so easy to overeat. You don't stop at 5 or 6, you keep going. A cup turns into 2. And while your taste buds are delighted, your joints are quietly paying the price. Carol's story is not uncommon. Many older adults unknowingly make choices like this every day, believing they are helping their bodies, when in fact they may be quietly adding to their discomfort. But here's where the story turns around. Upon learning about the connection between fructose and joint pain, Carol decided to make a small, intentional change. she swapped out her afternoon bowl of grapes for a small serving of frozen dark cherries. These cherries contain anthocyanins, natural compounds that not only give the fruit its rich colour, but have also been shown in scientific studies to help reduce uric acid levels and ease joint inflammation. Within weeks, Carol felt lighter on her feet. The late-night burning subsided. Her walks around the neighbourhood became easier. It wasn't a dramatic overhaul, just one thoughtful switch. And that's the beauty of it. Small, informed choices can lead to big improvements in how you feel every single day. If you've been dealing with unexplained joint discomfort, especially in your feet or knees, take a closer look at your fruit habits. It's not about giving up sweetness. It's about choosing the kind of sweetness that supports your body, not slows it down. 4. Watermelon. The summer sugar trap watermelon. It's one of those fruits that feels like summer itself, refreshing, juicy and light. For decades, it's been a go-to snack for hot days, offering what feels like natural hydration and sweetness in every bite. But for older adults, especially those over 60, watermelon can carry unexpected consequences that affect far more than thirst. In fact, it may be quietly contributing to muscle fatigue, swelling, and declining leg strength, and most seniors have no idea. At first glance, watermelon seems ideal. It's more than 90% water and relatively low in calories. But what many don't realise is that watermelon has a very high glycemic index. This means it breaks down into sugar extremely quickly in the body, leading to rapid blood sugar spikes. And while the body of a younger person may recover from these fluctuations without issue, an aging metabolism doesn't bounce back as easily. As we grow older, the body's insulin sensitivity naturally decreases. This means the sugar from watermelon lingers longer in the bloodstream, damaging small blood vessels, especially those in the legs and feet. Over time, this can reduce oxygen delivery to muscles, leading to that familiar sense of heaviness, stiffness, or swelling after even a short walk or period of standing. These sugar surges also promote low-grade chronic inflammation. This can manifest as aching knees, tight calves, or that nagging soreness in the ankles that seems to come and go without warning. Because watermelon is light and easy to eat, it's also easy to consume in large amounts. Just a few slices can quietly flood your system with more sugar than your body is equipped to handle, especially if you're managing pre-diabetes, arthritis, or circulation issues. The body sends subtle messages: slower steps, heavier legs, restless sleep. But too often, we dismiss them as just part of getting older. In truth, they might be signs that something in your daily habits needs adjusting. One simple change: swap your afternoon watermelon snack with a glass of chilled electrolyte water infused with lemon or cucumber. It hydrates without the sugar crash and supports better muscle and joint performance. Aging doesn't mean giving up the foods you love, but it does mean getting smarter about the choices you make. Your legs carry your independence. They deserve every bit of support you can give them. So if you've been feeling more tired, swollen, or unstable, maybe it's time to take a closer look at the fruit that claims to refresh, but might just be holding you back. 5. Oranges, the citrus that bites back. For decades, oranges have stood as a symbol of health, bright, juicy, and packed with vitamin C. They've long since been associated with strong immunity, quick recovery from colds, and a fresh start to the day. But what many older adults don't realise is that the very fruit they trust to support their health may quietly be working against their joints, especially as they age. Oranges are naturally rich in citric acid, a compound that, while harmless to younger bodies, can become irritating to aging joints and connective tissues. As we grow older, the protective cartilage and the synovial fluid that cushions our joints become thinner and more fragile. When highly acidic foods like oranges are consumed regularly, especially in concentrated forms like juice, they can increase the inflammation around the joints. This can make existing stiffness feel worse and may even trigger joint flare-ups, particularly in the knees, hips, and ankles. Adding to that challenge is the fruit's natural sugar content. Oranges may not seem overly sweet, but their sugar, especially when consumed in juice form, enters the bloodstream quickly. This sudden spike in blood sugar can contribute to systemic inflammation, which not only affects the joints, but also impacts circulation. When blood flow is reduced or becomes inefficient, muscles in the legs and lower body don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need. This leads to that heavy, sluggish feeling many seniors experience, sometimes even after a full night's rest. There's also a lesser-known but important factor: how citrus fruits interact with medications. Citric acid can interfere with the way certain drugs are absorbed in the body, including common prescriptions for high blood pressure, arthritis, and cholesterol. This interaction can make the medication less effective or, in some cases, too potent, leading to complications seniors may not immediately connect to their diet. Instead of starting the morning with orange juice, consider a warm cup of turmeric tea with lemon balm. This combination is anti-inflammatory, gentle on the stomach, and supports smoother circulation without the acidic burden. It also promotes joint comfort and has been known to help ease the tension many feel in their lower limbs. If you've been waking up with stiff knees, aching hips, or a subtle discomfort in your legs that's hard to explain, take a moment to look at your daily habits. Sometimes it's the most ordinary choices, the ones we don't question, that quietly shape how we feel. You're not giving up something good, you're choosing something better, and that one small choice could help bring ease back to every step you take. 6. Green apples, the sour sugar surprise. When we think of apples, we often think of them as one of the safest, healthiest fruits around. And among them, green apples, crisp, tart, and low in sugar, are often seen as the better choice, especially for seniors trying to watch their weight or manage their blood sugar. But there's a hidden side to green apples that many older adults are never told. For some people, over 60, especially those dealing with joint sensitivity, muscle fatigue, or digestive issues, green apples may quietly be making things worse, not better. Let me introduce you to Evelyn, a 73-year-old retired schoolteacher from Pennsylvania. Evelyn prided herself on her healthy eating habits. Every evening, as part of her routine, she'd slice up a green apple as a light snack before bed. But over time, she began waking up in the middle of the night with cramping in her calves and an aching tightness in her knees that made even standing up feel harder than it used to. She assumed it was just aging, or maybe her arthritis acting up, but the discomfort kept building. It wasn't until a conversation with her physical therapist that she learned about a surprising trigger: malic acid. Malic acid is a naturally occurring compound found in high amounts in green apples. While it can help with energy production in younger adults, for seniors with more delicate digestive systems and aging joints, it can become an irritant. As we get older, the lining of the gut becomes thinner and more sensitive. Malic acid, when consumed regularly, especially on an empty stomach, can irritate the stomach and cause mild inflammation that radiates through the body's soft tissues. In Evelyn's case, it was showing up as joint stiffness and muscle tension that made walking feel like a chore. Even more, green apples, though less sweet, still contain natural sugars that can cause fluctuations in blood sugar, particularly in people with slower metabolisms or those on certain medications. These fluctuations can lead to feelings of heaviness, tingling in the legs, or even restless legs at night. What helped Evelyn was a simple shift. Instead of eating green apples raw, she began baking them with a sprinkle of cinnamon and ground flaxseed. Not only did it taste like comfort in a bowl, but the heat reduced the acid's sharpness, and the cinnamon and flaxseed added anti-inflammatory benefits that soothed her digestion and calmed her joints. If you've been feeling unexplained tightness in your legs, aching joints, or restless sleep, take a closer look at what you're eating before bed. The smallest changes in your diet can lead to powerful relief. Try swapping the raw snack for something that supports your body instead of challenging it. You deserve to wake up with strength, not stiffness. 7. Mango, the sugary sleep disruptor. Mango is often seen as a wholesome, natural indulgence, vibrant, sweet, and satisfying. Many older adults enjoy it as a dessert or evening snack, believing they're making a smart, health-conscious choice. But beneath its juicy sweetness lies a hidden risk, especially for those over 60 who are already coping with issues like leg weakness, nighttime restlessness, or chronic inflammation. The problem isn't that mango is inherently unhealthy. It's that the way the aging body processes sugar changes over time. Mango contains a high concentration of fructose, a natural sugar that spikes blood glucose levels quickly. In younger bodies, insulin helps transport that sugar out of the blood and into the cells efficiently. But in older adults, insulin sensitivity tends to decrease. This means sugar lingers in the bloodstream longer, leading to low-grade inflammation and disrupting the body's natural rhythms, especially when consumed late in the day. When mango is eaten in the evening, its sugars can interfere with the body's ability to release melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep. The result? A restless night, tingling legs, tight ankles, a strange heaviness that sets in while lying down. What many assume is poor circulation or just part of aging can sometimes be traced back to dietary habits that no longer serve the body's changing needs. There's also a circulatory element. A spike in blood sugar leads to a spike in insulin. This hormonal surge can increase fluid retention, particularly in the lower body. Seniors often wake up feeling bloated in the legs or notice subtle swelling in their feet. Over time, this contributes to discomfort, poor mobility, and a sense that something just isn't right. There is, however, a gentle solution. Replacing mango with a low-sugar, high-protein alternative like Greek yogurt with a dash of cinnamon offers the body a more balanced way to end the day. It satisfies the desire for something sweet without flooding the system with excess sugar. It also supports muscle recovery overnight and helps stabilize blood sugar levels through the early hours of rest. You don't have to give up everything you love, but it may be time to rethink what's helping and what's quietly working against you. If your legs feel achy in the morning, or if sleep doesn't come as easily as it used to, consider the simple shift of what you eat before bed. Sometimes, the smallest changes lead to the greatest relief, and your body, wiser with age, will let you know when you're on the right path. So, what have we uncovered today? It turns out that some of the fruits we've trusted all our lives may not be serving us well in our later years. Pineapple, banana, grapes, watermelon, oranges, green apples, and mango. They aren't bad foods, but for a body over 60, they may be too much of the wrong thing at the wrong time. The good news? You have the power to choose differently. Switching to senior-friendly fruits like berries, cherries, papaya, and avocado can make all the difference. Small changes lead to stronger legs, better balance, and a life filled with more energy and confidence. Here's your challenge. Look at your fruit bowl this week. Choose one swap, just one, and pay attention to how your legs feel in the morning. It might just be the first step to reclaiming the strength you thought was gone for good. If this video helped you feel more aware or inspired, type "I'm choosing strength" in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend or loved one who needs to hear it. Because your independence is carried by your legs, and you deserve to walk through life feeling strong, steady, and supported.